All right, we've got an update on Jake Barber in SKYWATCHER. So let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah, this is a two-parter about Jake Barber. Two stories about him. Okay. Hi. Hello, folks. I am pleased to provide an update. SKYWATCHER is here doing our thing. As you may have read or heard via a number of sources, including our official SKYWATCHER account, we have completed our first round of contracted field operations and have collected nearly 10 terabytes of data. 10 terabytes of Sky Squid. I love it. We are now having that data processed and assessed in accordance with the independent verification and peer review outlined in our discovery framework. Yeah, that is so exciting that they could actually get this stuff peer reviewed. I mean, we'll see how it shakes out, but the potential is really exciting. This process takes time and it's crucial to informing future field operations. We have had success with both psionics and the dog whistle, neuromeditative interaction, and electromechanical signaling, and consider this data to be some of the best evidence gathered by a private entity on UAP. During this review phase, we aim not only to assess what we have gathered so far, but find ways to improve on the quality and diversity of data we gather, as well as innovative experiments to run. This will require collaboration with a number of third parties who hold the right credentials and authorities to help us dig deeper, expanding our team to include other individuals and entities with key talents, interests, and responsibilities related to the subject. Exciting times. Yeah, not excited about the authorities intervening. We've already heard about the potential landing that Carl Crusher reported on, where NASA was present, and we haven't heard any official statements from SKYWATCHER about that landing if that happened. Now, would we have heard about it if NASA wasn't there? I would be really interested to learn. Yeah. So lastly, I think I can speak on behalf of all of us here that this work is the most exciting thing any of us has done. But SKYWATCHER is not a full-time job for any of us. We all spend the majority of our professional time doing a variety of things that pay the bills and further our careers. In this new industry developing in UAP studies, aerial intelligence, and CUAS is full of hope and opportunities for us as working professionals with a unique skill set and background. And that's basically all he has to say. He says going to work at Home Depot is not an option for these guys. Yeah, it is what it is. It's not their full-time gig, but they are hopefully going to collect some data or have already collected the data to really change the game with UFOs. And if you can get Sky Squid peer reviewed, wouldn't that be incredible? So, it's early days yet. We'll see how this shakes out. I am, a little frustrated by them working with NASA and authorities, potentially Arrow, whoever they're working with. But he's spoken about this before.
We have an opportunity right now to work with the U.S. government and as a private partner. The place where we operate right now, we've been successful before in conducting our whole operation, all 5 phases of it. The U.S. government has shown an interest. They know we're capable. They know what we've pulled out of the sky. It's consistent with the egg and everything else I've told you about. And what they're offering to do now is give us exclusive use access to facilities because they don't know what's going on. Departments, there are departments within the broader branches of the 3-letter agencies that aren't being read into what other sections are. So
that, might explain why they're working with authorities and, what they can bring to the table. People, the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, but they do, maybe, right? So we'll see. We'll see. Again, it's early days yet. The potential is really there for something really exciting to happen. Meanwhile, in part 2, Jake Barber has met with Beatrice Villarroel and Dennis Ansberg sharing with them some of his thoughts and experiences. Here he's talking about how the craft themselves are conscious.
Where it's a biological artificial intelligence, but it doesn't have a consciousness or a soul. While that's happening, ironically, the craft is conscious.
Okay.
And the material in some of these crafts seems to be conscious, and it seems to have an ability to interface with human consciousness. And it's just there, and it's part of it. And for whatever reason, it doesn't impact everyone, because a few of the guys that were working that night I have since talked to, they didn't have the same response.
I thought that was really interesting that not only the craft is conscious, which we've heard, many times before, many experiencers report on that, but also that materials within the craft are conscious. Does that mean an independent consciousness from the craft itself? What does he mean by that? Let me know what you guys think. He also had some other, it was a long conversation, but he did go into his own experiences.
There were two objects that I am talking about publicly. One is the egg. The other is what we call was an 8-gon, or it's basically a flying disc with 8 delineated sections. When viewed from above, it looked like a craft, a flying saucer, but it wasn't smooth. It had 8 sections. It was very dark. And by the time I was over the object, flying, trying to lift it off the ground, I was in tears. I didn't know if I thought maybe someone had drugged me, or I was having an emotional breakdown of some kind from just stress, cortisol. And it took everything I got to fly and pick this load up and fly away. I slowly kind of exposed my family to this idea, to this worldview over time. We've always held that in our household, like especially with my children. I've talked about it that way. And so I think they're oriented, at least within my household and my circle of friends, they are oriented towards this becoming a reality, but they didn't know the extent to which I was involved. And so, especially within my immediate family, they didn't want me to come forward. And
okay, well, that's really interesting how he, integrated this new reality that he was living in with his family, and catching them up to speed a little bit. So, but yeah, I think this is really significant that he did meet with Dr. Beatrice Villarroel. I don't know what she made of all of this. I would love to hear her comments afterward, with Jake talking about his consciousness interactions with these craft or potentially beings. But I think it really speaks to the credibility of Dr. Villarroel's research, that Jake seems to take it very seriously, enough to go and meet with her personally. Now, she's a nuts and bolts, more mainstream astronomer. So I don't know, again, what she made of his more woo-woo, ideas or understanding of the phenomenon. But I do think it's really significant, again, that he takes her research very seriously, which seems to indicate that from his own understanding of things, that a network of UFOs in orbit around the Earth is totally plausible, and that she actually did discover some real evidence for that. So what does he know? I mean, I would love to know what he knows. I know you would too. But does he know of a current network of UFOs orbiting the planet? Is this just a normal thing in the life of Jake Barber? That, yeah, of course there's UFOs around the planet. I think that from my own research, I'm totally convinced that there's, many UFOs here all the time, and that there's probably a lot of beings that live here. But for Jake Barber to take this research seriously, I think was really interesting. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think about his statements regarding SKYWATCHER, and that, they're still going. They haven't broken up. The leaving of James Fowler, didn't, cause them to break up. So I think that's really encouraging personally, but let me know what you guys think. Are we going to get jellyfish, sky squids, manta rays peer reviewed? If we do, what will be the result of that? I mean, can we get this stuff accepted by mainstream science? Not just sky squid, but potentially even psychic interactions with sky squid? Could we get that peer reviewed and accepted in the mainstream? And if it can be accepted in the mainstream scientific community, that'll carry out into the general populace, I think. So, yeah, really exciting times, guys. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really do appreciate your support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.